And we're back here on Penn's Peak Radio. It's Kara in the studio with you this morning. I have a very special guest with me on air today. If you haven't heard of the Average White Band, they are a funk, soul, R&B legends hailing from Scotland. And I've got Alan Gorrie on the phone with me today. How are you doing today, Alan?
Great, thank you, Kara. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. Despite the weather, it is great to talk to you.
So have you guys already got rain?
Oh, it is pouring up here. It's like a whole little hurricane by itself up here. It's crazy.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess it's all heading east.
Yeah, where are you at?
I'm in New York area at the moment.
Yeah, it's coming for you. So
it's okay.
Yeah. So, Alan, you do guitar, vocals, bass, all bunch of stuff. Any other types of instruments?
I play piano as well, but mainly for writing and arranging. I don't play it on stage anymore. There's enough keyboardists, enough good guys on stage that I don't need to do any of that. So mostly bass, singing, and two or three tunes on guitar.
Okay. So you guys started back in the 1970s. So what would you say, Alan, that you would say that you've seen it all kind of by now?
Well, if I haven't seen it all, then I'm just amazed at what I've yet to see.
That's true.
But I've seen most of it, yeah, you could say. And as I say, what we haven't seen is probably straight out of this world.
Oh, well, we'll get you on Mars. How about that?
Sorry, what was that?
We'll get you on Mars.
Oh, on Mars?
Yeah.
Well, that'd be okay.
Yeah?
There has been life there before, I'm sure of it.
Oh, yeah.
And maybe the next set of life there will be even better.
Yeah. So the Average White Band is going to be here next Friday night, June 17th. Have you guys been to Penn's Peak before?
No, we've been to State College. We've been to Lancaster. We've been to Harrisburg. We've been to lots of Pittsburgh visits. We've been all over Pennsylvania, but we haven't been to Penn's Peak.
Well, we're very excited to have you guys up here.
We haven't seen it all because we haven't seen Penn's Peak.
That's true. Didn't think about that. So, yeah, once you come here, then you're good.
All right, that's the final Pennsylvania box to tick off.
Yeah. So you guys have played all around the world. Do you, by chance, remember the first show you played here in the States?
The first show in the United States?
Yeah.
The first show that we played in the United States would have been the Whiskey A Go-Go in Los Angeles.
Okay.
And that would be back in 1973. It was when our first album, Show Your Hand, was out, the MCA label, and they brought us out to the Whiskey in Los Angeles. We did, I think, a week or 10 days there.
Okay.
And then we just started doing more and more shows, and our first major thing was a tour with B.B. King, a mini tour with B.B. King in the Northeast in 1974. He was promoting one of his new albums, and we were lucky to be honored, in fact, to be asked to join him on his tour bus.
Wow!
So our first little tour of the States was with the almighty B.B. King.
That is very impressive. That's crazy.
It was very impressive, for young foreigners like us, and get a leg up. We were obviously we impressed him enough on the first show we did together, which actually was at the Kennedy Center in Washington D.C. of all places. And he said, you guys should come on my bus, and we'll do the rest of the tour that way.
Wow.
So it was really great for us, and what a nice slice of life to start our touring life in the USA.
Yeah. Did he teach you anything? Did you take anything away from that?
Yeah, lots of stage presence, professionalism, the way he put his set together, apart from his guitar playing and his call and response, answering himself on the guitar between his vocal lines. Yeah, he taught us a whole lot.
Mm-hmm. That's fantastic.
And his band members did as well, because he had a horn section and everything. So that our guys got along famously with all of them. And yeah, it was just a great lesson in professionalism.
Yeah. You also got to perform with Eric Clapton, correct?
That's true. That was before that.
Oh, okay.
That was the summer prior to that in London, and that was an amazing occasion. It was 2 shows on the same night at the Rainbow Theatre, which was London's biggest theatre, and everybody in all of the British music business were there that night. Everybody, all your Stones, Beatles, everybody. So we couldn't have had a more select audience to play to that, and that was really our kind of our entree to the big world of the music business over there. Was that gig with Eric Clapton? So it was an amazing slot to land.
Yeah. Wow. If you're just tuning in, I'm chatting with Alan Gorrie of Average White Band. Now, Alan, you guys have released over 20 albums, and you just actually released a new one in February. Can you explain a little bit about that one?
It's a live recording that we did in Austin, Texas last fall. It's called AWB R&B, and it 14 live tracks that kind of cover almost, tracks from 14 of our albums played live last fall, and all recorded in one night. We didn't cheat and record them up at night and then try and splice it all together in the studio. We just went for it in one go and got lucky. It's a really nice record, and there's some great singing and great playing on it, and a nice selection of tunes. Not necessarily the obvious. Oh, yeah, the greatest hits are there, but there's some other stuff tucked in there that people might not have heard from us before.
Where can they pick that up at? On iTunes?
You can get it on Amazon or iTunes or any of the normal download sites nowadays. It's on pretty much on all of them. And we are going to be bringing a bunch of them with us to the concert. So your best bet is to just get it from us at the concert.
I like that idea. There's something.
Plus, you'll get it signed.
Ooh, a little bit more just to dig in.
Yeah. You got to have, as they say in New Orleans, a lagniappe.
Ooh, I like that.
Extra.
So you've actually done other live albums. How do you choose where you're going to be recording them?
Well, sometimes it chooses you because it's you find that you get to a really great theater or a great location, and you go, this would be really cool to record in here. And so what you do is you call up a local recording guy who has his a mobile recording unit, and that's what we did in Texas. And out he came and did the sound check with us, and we plugged it all in, and we just went for it in the evening. And that's nowadays the best way to do it, rather than getting all planned.
Yeah.
You find that the best laid plans of mice and men usually go into a trap, and without the cheese. And the thing is that the more you plan, sometimes the worse it gets, because everybody's kind of uptight, and so we're going to do this thing on Friday, and oh my, and it gets a little tense sometimes. So it's nice when it kind of happens spontaneously. I think it's a better way to do it, and you end up with a much freer performance. Yeah,
and it would feel like it has kind of a heartbeat to it. You're not stuck there, okay, I have to make sure I get everything correct.
Well, it's better to have a heartbeat than, the workings of a brain. I think that definitely translates better to the listener.
Yeah.
Plus, you think with a CD, that's something you can keep in your car. I know people say, well, CDs are kind of going out and all that. And it's like, you know what? A CD is something you can keep in your car, and you can play that when you're stuck in traffic. Other downloadable forms and things, it's not so easy. I guess if you have a brand new car that has all the USB plugs, and Bluetooth, and we have yellow tooth, but that's another story.
So is there one album that stands out to you that you recorded because of recording purposes or just a personal reason?
Of all the albums we've done in our life, the first big hit studio album, which is a white square with the logo AWB on it, the written logo, it's just called eponymously Average White Band. I would say that's it's kind of the most perfect album we've done in that there isn't a single flaw on it at all. The most adventurous album we've done writing-wise was probably Soul Searching, because it was a complete work from start to finish with an overture, segues between the tunes, and an outro at the end, encapsulating the themes of all the tunes. You know, kind of along the lines of a Sgt. Pepper or a great Pink Floyd album.
Like a storyboard.
Yeah, it had a storyboard, a concept, and it all worked, and it shows all the facets of our writing abilities at our peak, you know?
Yeah. Average White Band will be here again next Friday night, June 17th. We're going to be giving away some tickets for you guys coming up to win next week. Alan, for someone who is new fan, how would you describe your live shows to people?
Very dynamic musically, steeped in blues and rhythm and blues, classic soul vocals of the highest order, great horn section. I mean, these guys are funky as you know what, and a terrific rhythm section that many bands have borrowed from and pay lip service to this day. I mean, it's really one of the most sampled bands in the 90s and early 2000s with the hip hop and rap artists. But the original versions have a vibrancy and a construct that you don't find much nowadays in the music world, or there's certainly not many people like us around that have such a wide variety of influences and facets to how to approach rhythm and blues. It's quite unique.
Yeah. And you said, like, different facets. Do you pay attention to what new is coming out in music?
You have to.
Yeah.
Of course you do. I mean, you pay attention to what's new, and you also keep referring back to the greatest stuff that you think you remember well, and you go back and you listen to it. You listen to Miles Davis, and last night we were listening to Herbie Hancock and Headhunters and some of that stuff, and you go, wow, I'd forgotten about this, I'd forgotten about that. Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
And you have to keep referring to the great records of the past to see what it is that you're missing today. So we're constantly listening to the new stuff and the old stuff, and seeing how we can, refresh all the elements of the stuff that we play.
Yeah. Do you think, on writing a new album anytime soon?
Not really, and I'll tell you why. It's such an endeavor. It's such a difficult job to write a whole album of stuff, and there really isn't a demand for it nowadays. It seems that the demand, when we go out and play, people really want to hear the 12 or 15 and 16 tracks that they really know well, and if we don't do that, they're disappointed.
Yeah.
So there wouldn't be an opportunity to come out and play a new album the way that you used to do when, in the 70s or whatever, when all our records were new and everything was new and fresh. But people, you get into that ironical situation where really people want to hear the nostalgia that they associate with us in the first place.
Yeah.
So it would be an incredibly, a labor of love and quite difficult to do, and it's also very expensive to record a band because we would have to get into a really big studio and do it properly the way we used to do it, so that it was representative of the playing abilities of everybody, rather than the kind of record that you could quote unquote make in your bedroom. So it's very, very difficult for an ensemble like us to record affordably, and since there are no record companies doing that kind of thing nowadays, and no record company budgets and funds to do it with, to be quite honest, it's kind of out of the ballpark.
Yeah.
So that's why we do the live records, and also why we concentrate mostly on live performance. And when we do record, it's, as I say, it's a representation of that.
Yeah. When you did record things live, were you guys all in one room together doing it in one take?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and then we picked the right take. We might do 6 takes. We might get lucky and do 1 or 2, and there have been times that I remember it getting to 19.
Yeah.
But it was everybody playing, everybody looking at each other in the eye, and getting it right.
Yeah.
And that takes a lot of integration, a lot of understanding, a lot of team knowledge, and these are things that we have in abundance nowadays, because we've this aggregation's been together really quite a long time. Basically, about 10 years. This band has been, this lineup has been together. So it's firing on all cylinders.
Yeah. Well, Alan, I don't want to take up much more of your time. I know you're a busy man, but how can people get a hold of you? Social media, website?
Personally, I stay away from all of it, but the band in general, we have the averagewhiteband.com is our own main website, and then there's the Average White Band Facebook site.
Okay. All right. Well, Alan,
I don't even belong to Facebook, let alone any other kind of book. I kind of hide away in my musical corner and let the what do they call it? Webmaster. He deals with that.
Yeah. And you know what? That's okay.
No, it's fine. I've so much on my plate.
Yeah.
And it would distract too much from what I have to concentrate on, which is getting us to where we need to go and making sure we have a great show.
Well, I know it's going to be a great show next Friday night. Thank you, Alan, so much for chatting with me today, and we're so excited to see you next week.
Great. We're really looking forward to it.
All right. You have a great rest of your day.
Thank you, Cara.
Bye-bye.
Bye.